on the harbor and rain on the road. Wet promise of winter brings a recourse to cold. Yeah. There's fire in the blood and the fog on the door. The giant will rise with the moon. Was the same ancient fever in the Isles of the Blest that our fathers brought with them when they went west. It's the blood of the Druids that never will rest. The giant will rise with the moon.
There's that. So it will happen sometimes that it'll kind of kink a little bit.
How are you doing?
Good, how you doing?
What's your name?
Mike.
What are you doing, Mike?
I'm just coming in to pick up a bike.
Whoa! How long did it take you to learn how to do that?
About 2 hours. It's fun to drive.
Is it?
Yes. A little uncomfortable, but...
Yeah. You're from around here, though?
Yes, I am.
Did you grow up in this town?
Yes, I did. It's a good summer job.
Oh, what do you do when you're not here?
I'm a student.
Oh, good for you. What are you studying?
Business. Well, we have like a code that we have to follow, that we have to dress in a certain way and act in a certain way.
What is that? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we have to dress in the period costume.
Yeah.
And we have to like look and represent the time period that we're representing. And then each people, like we have to know about each one of the buildings. And then we're assigned a building that we'll go to, usually for 2 days. And then we'll rotate after that. And you just have to know about life back in the time period.
And what do you know about life back in the time period? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, personally, I would have preferred to live back in this time period than modern time. Just because you wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we have now in society and life. Like, I think it would have been really great to live back in this time period. Because everyone knew everyone, that everyone was friends, they got along, there was no real stabbing in the back or anything. And everyone, like, they shared, they got along. You wouldn't really have had much difference in classes. Like, you would have had a few rich people in town, but everyone was on the same page. And there was really no great fashion sense. Like, you had, like, the wealthy people would have dressed wealthy because they could, but pretty much everyone else was dressing on the same level and everything. And it would have been a lot better. You wouldn't have a lot of the social and political problems that we have to face now. It wouldn't have been a problem back then.
But we wouldn't have had computers back then.
Small sacrifice to have a healthier life.
Do you have a computer?
Actually, I'm getting one tomorrow. Well, being in a business program at university, it's going to be an asset.
You could find yourself a little piece of property, right? Somewhere out in the boonies, right? And live your life quietly and simply that way. But you're choosing to go to university, to join the rest of us rat racers.
Yes. Well, I'm capitalist, so.
Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. A letter of marque came from the king to the scummiest vessel I've ever seen. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. But I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's brains.
Scared me. Did I scare you?
I know you'd be in here. What are you doing in here?
I'm the postmaster.
Waiting for the ghosts to come and collect their mail?
I'm the postmaster.
But there's no mail coming in here, though.
Well, no.
You're here to look.
We sell the postcards that are posted there,
okay.
And we also sell original stamps. It ran in Sherbrooke for about 99 years under a McDonald family.
No, the big one.
Oh, actually, that's a paper cutter.
Oh, it's a cutter. Oh,
Yeah. The Westman and Baker.
Oh yeah.
So you just put your paper in there. Put your brace down. So hold your paper straight. So that's locked in place now. I grab this big lever, it's kind of like a guillotine. I bring it down.
Oh man, that thing's awesome.
As long as we have about 1/4 of an inch, we can cut the paper. So like we can cut it up to about there.
Wow.
As long as there's a little bit of give.
So you're a printer by trade?
Yes. I started here the 1st of June. It took me 3 or 4 days to learn how to do this. This is what we're doing today, is our gingerbread recipes. So we set this up, letter by letter, upside down and backwards. We use a 1/2 teaspoon of ink, and that'll last us the whole day, like probably between 300 to 400 copies. So we'll just get it going here. And this here, the press is 120 years old. It's an 1880 model.
That's terrific. Got some blood purifier here, I see, huh?
Yeah.
Now, is any of that stuff actual that's inside it, or is it just...
It's all original contents
original
inside.
contents.
Anything that you see.
Have you ever had to use any of it on
No.
anybody yet?
Hopefully we'll never have to. They used a lot of herbal remedies. We have our garden out back where we grow a lot of our own things. Foxglove, which is where they got digitalis for heart medications. Lemon,
Still used today.
They do still use that today.
Yeah.
Lemon balm, you can get some different herbal medicines, I guess, from everything. We have the grinder that they would have used for grinding everything down to use. The mortar and the pestle for pulverizing things and getting it smaller. So they would have had 2 different ways of making their pills. This one is called a pill roller, and what this would have done is each of these would line up with another, and you would make a thick assortment. And once you did that, you would roll it between your hands, set it along here, slide it ahead and back, so that when these met up, it would cut each one into an individual pill. So then you would roll it between your fingers. And these, and I'm told by a few pharmacists that we've had in through, that they do still use this one. And this is a tablet maker, and it would be a thinner solution that they would spread all into the holes and allow it to dry. And once it dried, they would just flip it over and pop them through. And in the window is what we call a show globe. That was a universal symbol of the drugstore. If you could not read, or if you did not speak English, you were coming in on ships. There were many families coming in for the gold mining, things like that. They would know this was a drugstore by seeing this in the window.
Boy, it's warm in here.
Yeah, it's our stove's going. We're making bread? No, not that one, the one in the kitchen.
Is it any good?
What?
The bread?
Well, yes. We hasn't baked it yet. We just finished
You got free
making cookies. Well, there's samples of bread and some cookies we made this morning
Really?
on the table. Go ahead and have it yourself.
Thank you very much. Oh, wow.
It's over 150 years old. Somebody else's bread?
Somebody else's bread.
That's somebody else's bread? I'll try a piece of bread first.
Good, eh?
You made the cookies?
I made the cookies.
This half of the house over here is the residential district. If you take and divide the house in half right up to the roof from this wall, you go right up to the roof. This half of the house is business district, and that half of the house is residential. You could shut the door in the kitchen here and the door in the parlor, and basically the family could keep themselves separate from the guests.
Okay, and what kind of guest business happened here?
This is the jail.
Oh, this is the jail. I didn't know that.
This is the jail, yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, that's a solitary confinement in there. These are the men's cells, and upstairs there's 2 women's cells.
Jail was used from 1862 right up to 1968.
1960.
The family continued to live here at the same time that there were incarcerants. One of the things that I like to do with the kids that come in is they get in here and I said, now picture this. Just close your eyes and imagine you've done something very, very bad. And then you've just done something very bad and I've got a very nasty look on my face. Now you listen to this. and you're in. Well, you were incarcerated here, like you served your time here. Things like running your horse up and down the street too fast and before anybody laughs like you just did. Think about it, you've got a half-ton animal with steel on its feet, with a mind of its own. I mean, you can stop a car most of the time much more readily than you can stop a horse out of control.
So men here, women upstairs?
Men here, women upstairs, yes. The women upstairs, quite frankly, they didn't really do anything wrong except be married to a deadbeat. If a man had a debt, if they put him in jail, he's usually the only wage earner they had. So put him in jail, what's going to happen? You're never going to recoup your loss for the debt that he owed. And you probably have to put the wife and his family, which was usually very large, on the municipal system. Like, you know, provide for them. So it's costing more money, so what they do is they would jail the wife. You'd be surprised how very fast a gentleman would come up with his money when he realized he had to bring in the wood himself, cook the food himself, do the laundry himself, look after the kids himself, help in the farm all by himself, make sure that the laundry was done. Excuse me, I have my money.